Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and welcome to another video. Now you guys, this week has been a bit of a slower week for me in terms of crochet. I think the coming week is going to be even slower. I'm heading off to Lisbon in Portugal tomorrow for a work trip, so I'll be there until Friday. So no crocheting for me for an entire week, which is going to be a real challenge. So I will see how I cope with an entire week of not being able to crochet. So I'm not taking any crochet with me. It's going to be a little bit of a hectic trip. But I've never been to Lisbon, so I'm hoping to at least see something of a different city and a different country. But anyway, let me get to the projects that I did manage to complete this week. The first thing I want to show you, I've mentioned before, every time that I finish a project, it takes me quite a while to decide what to make next. Now, I've got a ton of books that I want to make things from. I've got loads of patterns. I've got tons of ideas, but it's like I just cannot get going on them. So I normally fall back on some or other comfortable bear pattern. So as you know, bears, making crochet bears are my big love in life. It is like my comfort project. So I ended up, just to sort of get me back into the swing of what I want to do, I whipped up this cute bear. Now this bear is the pattern from Lilelise that was gifted to me by my friend Pamela from Ginger Cat Crochet when we had our birthday collab in December. So this is such a cute bear pattern. I really love it. I love most of the patterns by Lilelise. She's got wonderful amigurumi. I've got two of her books. I've got loads of her patterns. But this one, I just really enjoyed making. Definitely a comfort project for me. Now this little sort of cowl type of vest, I'm working on a little pattern design sort of in the background, and I've been trying to make this little like a little vest type of a outfit piece for a toy. So this is actually the third one I've made. The other two are on a different project that I'll show you sometime soon. But I really like the look of this little vest, you know, that goes on into a scarf. So I made this cute little cropped vest for this bear. And I used just my favorite Rainbow Cotton 86, which is a sport weight yarn, 100% cotton. And with it, I use a 2.5 millimeter hook. Again, I am still on embroidery eyes. I'm not sure when I will go back to to using safety eyes more often. Actually, I don't know. I'm trying to also work on a few different ways of making embroidered eyes. Hopefully I can do some more tutorials throughout the year, because I've really been loving using this specific eye, but I need some variation in my toys. So definitely I'm working on a few different eye designs for throughout the year. So this was the first pattern that I did, and I will link this pattern by Lilelise down below. You can get it from her blog. I think you'll also get it from Etsy. I've made numerous bears using this pattern. It is just so cute. Now you guys, I think the most interesting part of last week was the discussion we had regarding this book. Now I love the chats that we all have in the comments. I love that we all have different ideas. I love that everyone is just open to express their own views on patterns. Some people love certain patterns more than others, and that is wonderful. I love having these discussions in the comments. I love that everyone is respectful of everyone else. You know, we all have different opinions, and that is what makes this such a wonderful community. But as you know, I have had some strong feelings about these bullseye heads. And I mentioned last week that I want to try and make one of these patterns, but with a more regular shaped head. So once I completed my bear, I thought, okay, let me grab this book again and make one of the patterns and try to shift the head to not have that bullseye look, to have the head as you expect, as with most amigurumi, starting at the top or starting at the bottom, or if you do a doll, which in this case, I will explain to you what I did. I worked from the legs up. So my legs, body and head is all one piece. But I wanted to see if I can get a similar look of the doll of the doll that I picked, but changing the head shape. And the doll I decided on was this cute girl. I think she's called the grapefruit girl. Yes, Ruby, the grapefruit girl. So this is the pattern that I decided on doing. I thought she was easy enough. She had an easy enough head shape to try and recreate, because some of the other patterns have got headdresses and different types of hairstyles that I thought might be a little more difficult to try and recreate into a regular shaped head. And I wanted to see if I could keep some of the cuteness of the patterns, because I do like the patterns a lot. It's just the head shape that has been putting me off. But let me show you guys what I came up with. So let me just open up again this doll. So just to give you again. So this is the doll that I made, and I did everything exactly the same, right up to the neck. And this is why I changed it completely. So my Ruby, the grapefruit girl, this is what she looks like. So I did manage to get sort of the hairstyle. She has this cute little bob. Let me just open up again that we can see. Sorry, you guys. So if you look at her hairstyle, I did try and keep sort of that fringe that she's got going, the bob. As you can see, everything else I did exactly the same. No changes whatsoever, right up to the neck. And then I did the regular shaped head. So I just continued with a head shape all the way to the top. And then I made a wig cap, basically to put on top. I did put those same little grapefruit slice these things that they've got on here to sort of mimic a grapefruit slice. I put that on there, but definitely it is not obviously the same doll. You cannot get the same vibes. And I mean, recreating a pattern will never look exactly the same, and I think this is the point why we recreate or adjust or adapt or mix and match patterns. It's just so that we can get something that probably we are more comfortable with making. It's to experiment a bit. It's to push us out of our comfort zones. As you know, I've got the mix and match challenge going on, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I wanted to show that using the majority of the pattern and taking inspiration from the doll's head in the pattern, I did create something that I thought was really, really cute. Now, actually, I think I wish I had increased a bit more to make the head at the bottom a bit broader. I did embroider the eyes. I did give her a nose and a cheeky little side. I like giving my dolls these side grins. So, it's always difficult to get faces exactly symmetrical. That's why if I ever embroider a mouth or something on an amigurumi, I'll always do it slightly skew or slightly off to the side, like a cheeky little side grin. But I really like how she turned out. I still can get the vibe of the grapefruit. So she does still look like Ruby, the grapefruit girl. I do like how I made her little hairstyle. I like this bob, although, it is difficult to adapt a pattern to look exactly but different to the original. So I don't know. I really like how she turned out. Will I want to create a new head for every doll in this book? I don't think so. It takes a lot of thinking. It takes a lot of work. It's basically like writing a new pattern. So it takes a bit of trial and error, to get for instance, to get the decreasing exactly correct. Because basically I did the hair as they did the hair for this doll. So you work in a circle and then you go back and forth at some point. So that you can sort of see from the design of the head on here. And if you have some experience with amigurumi, you would have come across certain things that you can easily adapt into different patterns. And this is what I love doing. Would I want to do it for an entire book of dolls? I don't know. I really like how she turned out. I think she is very cute. I love her cheeky little face. She looks like she can pull a good prank. I don't know. This is what her little face looks like. I really like her. I like the colors. I like the whole grapefruit vibe. I think with summer coming up, this is probably why I was drawn to this pattern. But like I say, everything up to the neck, I did exactly the same. And these are such easy patterns to follow. And it was so easy to just continue making a round head and adding a wig cap to it, drawing inspiration from the original pattern. So there you've had it. You've had now my 100% following the pattern in my B that I did last week from this book, and now my adapted pattern for this week, using the majority of one of the patterns but changing the head, as I mentioned I wanted to try and do. So it is possible, but it does take a lot of work. And I don't know, I think there's so many beautiful bases in this book. For instance, that I've mentioned these dolls of the world. I want to try and do them, but as I say, to now recreate a different head for every single one, it will take some work, and sometimes I just want to follow a pattern. Believe it or not, even with all my experimenting and my love for creating patterns, sometimes I just want to sit and I want to watch Netflix or YouTube, and I just want to 100% follow a pattern. So this was me this week. I think, I enjoyed the process of making this be 100% from the pattern and then adding this little cardigan, because I needed something to test my little vest idea on. It worked really well with this bear, but this bear is nice to follow. It's an easy pattern, works up really quickly, and every time I make this bear, I'm super happy with the result. Then, as I say, tried something new with this doll, and I do think she is adorable. I really like how she turned out. This was also made with rainbow cotton 8/6 and a 2.5mm hook. So this is what I've been using the majority of time recently for my amigurumis. I love working with cotton. I love working with the thinner cottons. And I do love experimenting. Now, you guys, on the topic of experimenting, so that was it. I'm done. Those are my only 2 projects for this week. Like I say, don't expect any miracles for the coming week. There'll probably be 0 projects coming up for my next, if I do a video next week. I will have to see how I manage to fit everything in once I return from Lisbon. But we will see when we get there. That is a problem for a different day. Now, on the topic of experimenting, as I said, the mix and match challenge is well and truly on the go. You guys, you have been brilliant so far. I've received about 7 or 8 entries so far for our mushroom cat pattern, and they are, every single one of them, fantastic. Every time I open up a photo to look at what you have created, I am just inspired. I am in awe of what you guys can do. I'm loving being part of this community. It is so nice to have you all join in. Can I tell you, I get the most inspiration from being part of this crochet group. Like chatting to you guys every week, it really feels like I'm in like this is my crochet group. I love it. And this is why I like these lively conversations about patterns, about books, about whatever else is going on in the crochet community. I love that we can talk about it. I love that we can have a bit of a debate about it. It's fantastic. You guys are wonderful. I love hanging out with you every single week. I look forward to it every single week. So for those of you who still want to join the Mix and Match Challenge, I will link the videos down below. Please, you have until the end of May to submit your mushroom cat designs. Like I say, I've been in awe of the projects that's been submitted so far. I cannot wait for those of you that are still planning to send in. It's going to be fun. All right, friends, that is it for this week. Let's see what the new week brings. I hope you all are ready for the week ahead. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend so far. And as always, friends, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.